The Prime Minister and state leaders are deep in negotiations tonight at the Health Summit. Kevin Rudd has splashed out another $1 billion, hoping to convince the leaders to back his plan. But he still hasn't broached the most sensitive issue, the potential deal breaker, and that is the plan to keep a third of the state's GST payments. That's when the meeting gets really serious and why the leaders will be back tomorrow for a second day. From Canberra, Chief Political Correspondent Mark Simpkin.
Kevin Rudd's been courting them for 7 weeks, and despite billions of dollars in inducements, the premiers are still playing hard to get.
We're engaging in some very We are engaging in some very constructive and detailed discussion around the reform proposal.
By late afternoon, they hadn't even started negotiating the fraught funding issues at the heart of the plan.
I haven't seen any sign of stubbornness. Really?
We'll meet as long as it takes.
I think it's likely to be a fairly long night. We've still got a lot of work to do.
We've just booked an extra night's accommodation, so that's our expectation.
That's despite the Commonwealth putting even more money on the table.
So far, discussions are constructive. We've got a long way to go. And I still think these are very tough and difficult negotiations.
The Prime Minister will provide more than $15 billion to cover expected increases in health costs. And from July, the states will get $1.2 billion for extra hospital beds, emergency departments and elective surgery.
Today is the crunch time for the delivery of health reform and for an agreement on the GST.
And that's a potential deal breaker. The states must agree to give up 1/3 of their GST payments. The Commonwealth says it's non-negotiable, and so do the premiers.
Western Australia will simply not give up the GST.
We've got a very strong view, as you know, about the GST.
I just find it crazy that some people are saying that there are areas they want extra money from the feds, but some of the reforms are not negotiable.
It boils down to a fight over who controls the money, and the federal government is talking down the chances of a breakthrough. One Commonwealth source even says a deal is unlikely. The states say the government's trying to manage expectations, and progress is being made.
We're getting closer, inch by inch, but there is still some distance to travel before we can reach agreement.
The journey continues tomorrow, after another dinner at the Lodge. Mark Simpkin, ABC News, Canberra.